Glad to announce the addition of 4 more recruits that came in today. Alan Daly, wide receiver from Alabama. Nick Lewis, an offensive tackle from Jacksonville. Chris Oates, a linebacker from Cincinnati. And Cavassier Smoke, another running back from Alabama. Yeah, you guys all smile with that. That'll be fun to say, huh? Let's hope he scores a lot of touchdowns. And Cavassier. So, great guy. But, you've heard me talk about it before. I think the nucleus of our class was signed in December. I think that was very good for us. It was very good for the University of Kentucky. And I also think it was very important. It was a great day today. As I've mentioned and learned from Jimbo a long time ago, I think, it's really important to recruit a solid class top to bottom. But the last 2, 3, 4 guys are absolutely critical. And I really feel like we hit a home run with the guys that we signed today. So I'm very excited about this class. With these 4 guys right here, it puts a really solid class together with 24 players in total. That's a perfect number for us. So I felt like we hit the number right on the spot. We signed 13 offensive players, which we needed, 9 defensive players, and 2 specialists. So really complete class. I feel very good about it. And it worked out really well. So I appreciate the efforts of our assistant coaches. They worked tirelessly around the clock for years sometimes to recruit these guys, and it paid dividends here with this recruiting class. At this time, it's kind of nice. The early signing period, we had talked back in December, but I think it was very good for us. It had a chance to kind of hit the reset button after the December signing period and see exactly what we needed for this February signing day and hit the spots. That worked out very well for us. I also think it helped us get a jump. It gave me an opportunity to go out and look at juniors and just get in front of people and hit a lot of different places, because in the spring head coaches are not allowed on the road. So just move the calendar up a touch. It made for a very busy December, but it made for a better January for us. And so overall, I'm very excited about it. Also, this is the first time I got in front of you. I'll answer any questions about our new assistant coaches with Brad White and Michael Smith as well.
Mark, Ohio State's been able to come in and take some of those in-state guys late in the process recently. What was different about Chris's recruitment?
Yeah, I think Vince is here. I'm going to let Vince, you can tell I'm a little under the weather, so I'm going to get out of here quick and let Vince do all the talking about the recruiting. But Coach Morrow really did a good job. Coach House, all of our defensive guys, they all went up mid one last pitch and put every one of our guys in front of him a week ago Saturday, and watched his basketball game, just got in front of him. But the guys really worked hard building relationships. I think Chris felt very comfortable with Coach Morrow, with our staff, and what we're doing down here. And I think that made the difference this year.
I think in the release it said, with Brad White's hiring, it said that you all didn't really know each other before the interview process. How rare is that to hire a guy that you didn't really know, and what stood out about him to make him that guy?
It is rare, but there's some guys in the Colts organization that were in the Colts organization that I have great respect for. And Coach Pagano, what he says, really matters. And Rob Chudzinski, their offensive coordinator, and I go way back. So as far as what type of person you're getting, I had no questions there. And then when we bring him in and go through the interview process, he really impressed me quite a bit. And so I knew halfway through that interview that I wanted to wrap it up and get recruiting him to take the job, because he was having some other opportunities, and I wanted to lock him up.
Coach Smith has had a lot of success recruiting Louisiana. Is that somewhere you think you can exploit here too, or?
Definitely going to let him explore that, yes. I was a little hesitant early in the process. You remember back when we had Coach Peeve here, he had some connections there as well. And we were close on some things, but I just felt like at that point we were a little bit too far stretched. I wanted to isolate, and concentrate on the areas that we have. At this point, we let Coach Klink expand a little bit to Detroit. It's paid some dividends, and we'll let him expand a bit into Louisiana, yes.
Now you've been through this new schedule one time.
you obviously flipped a guy in Nick who was committed and didn't sign December. You lost a guy who was committed and didn't sign. Is it fair next year to just assume anyone who doesn't sign in December is open game?
Without a doubt. Yes, that's the way we looked at it the whole time. That's why we didn't miss a beat. Yeah.
How much do you think it will strengthen your defensive staff to move Dean back to defensive back?
Well, I just think it'll help us overall. Number one, I think what was very intriguing to me is Brad, being such a technician. And I really feel like we have some NFL outside linebackers. And so bringing him in to coach those guys, to take them to another level. We all know what kind of coach Dean Hood is. He's the best. He's a great human being and a great coach. But most of his experience is in the back end. So it'll give Dean time to concentrate on special teams and work in the back end with Coach Klink. And I wanted to improve some help in the secondary. And again, I really feel very excited because you've heard me talk for years about the nuances of coaching that position, of coaching outside linebacker, because there's a lot on their plate. We need them to be elite pass rushers. We need them to be run stoppers, but they also have to play in space and have drops, and they have a lot on their plate. So with a guy with that kind of experience, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Marcus, you're recruiting your own guys, those guys in that position, to come back here for another year and pass on maybe an opportunity for the NFL. Is that part of what you told them? I'm gonna get you somebody that knows exactly what you need to do to succeed.
I didn't talk about that, but as I've talked to you guys about, I just said I was going to sit back and just take it all in and just see what was going to be the best fit for us. Once I talked to Brad, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And so at that point, I started talking to him, but Josh had already made up his mind. And so as I started talking to those guys, they were very excited about the opportunity to have somebody like this come in. Brad also coached a close friend of mine, and Bjorn Warner, as well. And Bjorn, obviously raved about Brad as well.
Mark, no in-state signees in this class for the first time, I think, ever. Was that something just unique to this class, or what happened?
Yeah, I think I was disappointed in that. I'm not going to lie. I want in-state guys, and we're recruiting hard on the 19s right now. We're out there, beating the pavement, making sure we're evaluating the right guys and getting them. Like I said, there's, not always going to be an abundance of guys, but there always is good quality here, and we got to make sure we get the quality players to stay home.
I know you can't talk specifically about those 19 guys, but what do you think about just the talent level of that class? It seems pretty strong.
It does seem strong. Yeah, definitely reminds me of the class a few years back when Cash and those guys came out, whatever year that was, but 16. But yeah, there's some impact players in this class.